Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, take a listen to this short clip from a video that I just put out a couple of days ago, I believe. It was the video that I recorded in Costco doing a price check. You know, I think that a lot of the things that we're going to see today that are at decent prices are things that have been sitting in a container ship out at sea for the last 6 to 9 months. Right? I think that's what this is, these kinds of things. But when we get to the food aisles, then we'll see what the prices really are, you know, for food stuff. But things that are like this, electronics, generators, things like that, these things have been sitting out in a dock for several months. That's what I think. Now I come up to this article here that says, deflationary tsunami on deck, a tidal wave of discounts and crashing prices. It's what I was talking about on that short clip on that video that I did in Costco, is that we've had a whole bunch of a backlog of consumer items that are now going to make it into the system. And it's going to be a deflationary effect on those items. However, the question that you want to ask yourself is this: what of those items bring value to your life? So if there are items that are going to be on the shelf that bring value to your life, for example, flashlights, all right, that brings value to your life. What if you have a power outage and you have no lights? Then it brings value to your life. Generators, that would bring value to your life if you had a power outage as well. Right? Those things, they may be coming on sale. I don't think that the items that really bring, value to your life, like solar panels, things that you can really use to sustain your standard of living during any kind of a crisis, I don't think that the price on those things are really going to come down as much as other things like toys, gadgets that you just don't need, just entertainment things that you just don't need. But here they're telling us that those items that have been in backlog, that have been accumulating at the docks for the last year, maybe year and a half as much, are now going to be flooding the stores. And they already started flooding the stores. So take advantage of this. But what does that mean for the prices of everything else? In my opinion, the prices of the things that you need in order to live are going to go even higher. Why? Because inflation will still persist. And I'll start off with this. What does this mean for retailers and the price of goods? Widespread inventory liquidations. That's what that's going to mean, ladies and gentlemen. But of what? To be sure, not every product will see its price cut. Commodities. What are commodities? Commodities are things that we need. Food, energy, whose bullwhip effect take much longer to manifest itself, usually lasting several years in either direction, are only just starting to see their price cycle higher. So what they're saying here is that even though we're going to see a glut of inventory in the market, it's not going to be, and this is how I read it, it won't be in things that we really need, right? Food, energy, medical, all that kind of stuff that we really need, ammunition, stuff like that. They're not going to see their prices going down. They're going to see their prices continue to go up. However, other products like those carried by Walmarts and Targets of the world are about to see a deflationary plunge of the likes which have not been seen since the global financial crisis, as retailers commence a voluntary destocking wave, the likes of which have not been seen in over a decade. So Walmart's, Targets, maybe even Costco's, they're going to get rid of things that they're overstocked in, but those things are just going to be cheap items that's pretty much junk. If you notice on the video on the clip that I just put up showing you those flashlights, you notice that all of those flashlights, even though they were encased inside of a box, they were dusty inside. Why is that? Because they've been waiting out in a dock. They've been sitting there for months and months. Today, both Wall Street and mainstream media have caught up, with both predicting unprecedented deflationary price cuts in the coming weeks. And they say that inventory across the sector is up about 30% year over year, and sales growth is up about 0%. So their inventory is up, sales is not up at all. What does that mean? That if they want to move those products, which is costing them interest, the longer they sit on the shelf, it costs them interest. Remember, I say that we live in a credit-based economy. So they're paying interest on that product that's sitting on the shelf. They're going to have absolutely no choice but to have to discount those products so that they can move them off the shelves. And they say that store checks show that aggressive discounting has already started as of Memorial Day holiday weekend. Discounting pressure could accelerate through July. And since more retailers are now discounting, companies are having to offer even bigger discounts to compel consumers to buy. And it is a race to the bottom in margins in order to clear through inventory. So it looks like maybe we're going to have a good Christmas for the kids, meaning that their toys are going to be really cheap. But how much is your food going to cost? So I want to make sure that because you see this article, don't think right away that, oh goodness, good times are back again. Yeah, you're going to be able to get your gadgets at a discount, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you're going to see cars in this article. I haven't read it yet, but I don't think you're going to see cars and new vehicles in this article. I think that new vehicles are going to stay elevated because of some of the shortages that still persist within the automotive industry. Here they say, we are likely to see a tidal wave of discounts that carry us through December because 2022 inventory orders have already been placed. And that there are going to be discounts like you've never seen before. So what do I say? Save your pennies. And if you find things that bring value to your life, get it if you can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have dry powder for. You've heard me use the term dry powder many times. It's usually used in the financial sector, meaning that dry powder means to have a little bit of cash on the side that you're just letting sit there for when a good opportunity arrives, that you can go ahead and take advantage of that good opportunity. And I'll finish it off with this, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the bottom it says, not everything is set for a deflationary crash. Don't expect luxury items to see price cuts. If anything, luxury prices for things like handbags and shoes are poised to keep climbing. Who cares about that? And while inflation is likely to persist in the ultra high, the implication for broader inflation is clear. Most prices that make up the core CPI basket are about to fall off a cliff in weeks, if not days, with upcoming core CPI prints set to plunge. What are they saying here? That a lot of the junk that's going to be on sale make up the core of what the consumer price indices is, which is how the government rates inflation. So they're going to come out with a number like they did last month. I think it was 8.6, which is really high. So this is going to bring the inflation, the CPI, down. Why? Because they include things that are mostly things that don't bring value to your life, that we don't need to live, like food, like fuel, energy, all that kind of stuff. Which means that the only thing that will remain red hot is headline inflation, i.e. food and energy prices, the same prices which the Fed has traditionally ignored. Do not be deceived, ladies and gentlemen. It remains to be seen if it will do so this time around, or if, realizing that the U.S. is entering a recession, it will resume easing even in the face of $5 gas. So what they're saying there is that when we have our next CPI print, which will probably be sometime next month, all right, in the month of July, if it comes down, the Fed is going to use that to their advantage to propagandize the American people into telling them, you see, what we're doing is working. So now we can ease off the interest rates and bring interest rates down a little bit, because what does that do? When you bring down interest rates, it goes ahead and allows people, or allows banks, to loan people more money, creating money out of thin air, bringing it into the economy, and inflation will then persist to go even higher on those things that we need to live. So ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. Protect yourselves. Yes, have a little bit of dry powder on the side. I don't see anything wrong with taking advantage of buying a set of Legos at a discount so that your children can have a nice Christmas. All right, I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. It is the little things that matter in life, right? So remember to keep preparing, though. Remember that prices for food, we don't have food that's been sitting out in barges and sitting out on container ships and stuff like that for the last year or so, just like these products that are going to be coming onto the shelf have. So food, energy, those things that we need, it's going to continue to go up. So don't be fooled. And of course, make sure that you live a little. If you see some things out there that are at a great discount, man, take advantage of it. If it's going to bring a smile to your child this Christmas or their birthday or whatever, take advantage of it and prep on. I just can't say enough. Prep on. Don't let an article like this deceive you into thinking that everything is great, because you're going to find out soon enough, all right, that things are not going to be great as far as prices go for the things that we need to live. God bless every one of you, and thank you very much for your support.